What if you are time, moving through time? Change happens over time. Things accumulate over time. The secret soil is time. When you think your thoughts, dream your dreams, when you make a whole plan and write it out or map it out in your head, what brings those thoughts and dreams and that plan to fruition is time. Your spirit plants it in the soil of time. And when you give it space and you allow time to go by, those dreams and thoughts and plans will come back around to you with more enthusiasm, more momentum, and you'll have more thoughts to add on to it, more ideas to add on to it, and your feelings will grow closer towards that plan or that thought or that idea because you gave it space. And now when you go to work on it, that's like, okay, it's already planted in the soil. Now you're working on it, you're watering it. When you work on it, it's like the sun beaming on the plants and giving it energy because you are paying attention to those thoughts and dreams and plans by working on it, right? Your attention is like the sun, esoterically. And the more you get excited about it or the more you believe in it, that is you watering it. Because your emotions is like physical water in the esoteric. So the secret soil is time. Because over time, that is what grows the seed. Just like the soil goes over the seed and the seed grows through the soil, same thing with the seed of your ideas. It grows over time, and those ideas sprout and manifest and come to fruition through time. So time is the sacred soil. Your attention is the sacred sun, and your emotions is the sacred water. And you are the sacred nurturer, the sacred farmer of those of those seeds. I put the word plants and seeds together, of those plants, of those seeds. Please. You are the sacred nurturer, the sacred farmer, the sacred gardener. Furthermore, when I say you, I'm not speaking of your ego. I'm speaking of your higher self, your true self, your bigger self, your spirit. The you that when they say be a bigger person, they're saying step into your spirit. Operate from your spirit, not from your ego. Operate from your true self, not from the false identity that our mind curated, aka the ego. Okay? That you is the sacred nurturer. Because your ego might be like, F this shit. But the spirit prevails because the spirit believes in itself. So the spirit, after the ego has had its moment, if you're still in that level, still operating from ego, normally after the ego had its moment, that's when your spirit can come through and be like, all right, let's go back to the drawing board, or let's re-strategize, because your spirit is the bigger entity and does win at the end of the day, and does get to decide what it does at the end of the day. Your spirit decides whether or not it gives up at the end of the day, not your ego. So even though your ego, that's why you have that whole tantrum and be like, I'm done with this ish, I'm giving up. And then like 5 minutes later, like once you've calmed down, you're like, okay, so like let's replan, because your real self is the boss, and your real self says, I'm not done with this yet. Okay? If you're on like a higher level of like you don't operate from ego anymore, And that doesn't mean that we don't have tantrums. We don't get sucked into the tantrum because we identify with our spirit. We know at the end of the day, we're not actually done with this shit. So we're not even about to have that whole tantrum and do all that, because we know at the end of the day, like, and these are people that's able to keep it real with themselves, right? Normally people that's able to keep it real with themselves operate from their spirit. We're bigger spirits because it's hard as hell to keep it real with yourself. And your ego can't really prevail in the space of truth, in the space of realness, because the ego itself is an illusion. So when you're someone that keeps it real with yourself, you're someone that operates from your spirit. And if you're one of those spirits, then you already know, like, when that happens, it's like you just breathe, just, and be like, okay, I'm just gonna take a minute. I'm probably gonna go smoke a blunt or something, and then I'm gonna come back to this, but I definitely need a minute. Take that minute, go smoke your blunt, take a step back. And when you're taking that step back, that is you giving space, creating space between you and your objective. Okay, and that is the space where things manifest. When you give things space and give things time, then when you come back to it, you're fresh, you're new, you're actually able to think clearly. Okay, so, and if you're not on that level yet, then like I really like motivate you to like just challenge yourself. Like whenever like the ego's about to take over, just stop and breathe and be like, I'm gonna just give this space. I'm going to give this, I'm gonna give myself time to calm down. I'm gonna give this time to whatever the fuck. And I'm going to just create space between me and this thing, because it is causing frustration. It's lowering my energy, whatever the case may be. You just need to give it space, because you're able to keep it real with yourself and know like you're not about to give up on that. You just need a minute. Okay. Another thing I wanted to say is a lot of us that operate from ego, or even just the victim mentality, is someone that operates very heavily in ego, actually. So we'll just keep it at that. People that operate from ego, no matter how that looks like for you, whether it's victim mentality or whether it's like you like to complain, that's still victim mentality. People that complain a lot. But yeah, just if you operate from ego, like you're not able to not be taken over by your emotions. The best realization that I had a few seconds before I turned on this camera, because it was such a good realization, I'm like, let me make a video right now, was that we think riding the wave of our emotions, getting engulfed in our emotions, is going to lead to something miraculous happening. Too many of us, a lot of us believe that riding the wave of our emotions, going deep in the depth of our emotions and letting it overtake us, is going to lead to the answer. Something miraculous happening, something, the solution just falling from heaven. We think it's going to lead to that, and it absolutely doesn't. If you thought that, if you're one of those people that believes that, and be honest with yourself, it's okay. That's literally most of us. You're not alone in that. That's all right. That was me too. Thinking these big feelings is going to somehow bring me the solution if I just let it take me over. No, it doesn't at all. All it does is bring destruction, is bring chaos, is bring pain, unnecessary pain. When all you had to do was not fall into those feelings, be the adult and say, no, I'm going to be the one to bring the solution to myself. But right now, I just need a minute. That is like it just comes down to one truth. No one's coming to save you. You have to figure it out by yourself. Or if you have a good support system, you and your support system has to figure it out. Okay? Like you, whether that's your mom, whether that's your best friend, like go to them to strategize ideas with you if you need that. If you feel like you can't think of nothing and you need like another mind, go ahead. But that is what's going to bring about a solution. Strategizing, whether that's by yourself or with somebody that cares about you, that is what's going to bring the solution. It's not going to just come out of thin air. It's not going to be brought to you. Okay? And even when you're like in the shower and like the solution drops in your mind, that wasn't out of thin air. That was from coming right back to time and space. That was from you being in that space and you circling around that problem and giving yourself time, giving the problem time to accumulate. In the esoteric realm, let's talk esoteric real quick. Your thoughts, your problems, your ideas, these are actual things, that these are actual substances, or else you wouldn't be aware of their existence. That lets you know that they do exist, just not in the physical world. They exist esoterically. And in the esoteric realm, they are making rounds. And when you give them space, you're giving them space to float, because they're substances that's extremely light in weight. So when you're not like adding a bunch of thoughts and ideas to it and making it heavier and making it materialize into tears coming out of your eyes, when you're just letting it be light and giving it space, it's making rounds in the esoteric realm. And while it's making rounds, it's collecting space, which is, space is not empty, by the way. Space is also a substance. So when it comes back around to you, it has more than what it was before. It was just a problem before, but now it has solutions with it. So like now when you are in the shower and a solution just randomly drops in your head, that wasn't, oh, I received a solution like from God. That was you creating space between you and the problem, and you still being like um you're still in a state of being of like, everything in my life is not solved, but I'm not in a state of worry. I'm giving the issues that I have space, and I'm just like, normally when this happens, most of us is not consciously aware that like we're just like trusting the unknown, and we're kind of just waiting for something to happen, or like the answer to come to us. Most of the time we're in a, like, if we're being honest, most of the time we're kind of in a state of like, there's nothing I can do, it is what it is. Like, so we're just kind of like in the shower, and like we have our problems and we're feeling down about it, but we're not like trying to find a solution for it, because we're kind of like in a surrender state of like, it is what it is. There's like nothing I can do about it. Like, I just have to just hope for the best type shit. And then that's like when like an idea or the problem comes back to you with like a solution. Like you, like the solution drops in your head. You know what I mean? It's always like when we're in that kind of give up state, or like, it's not really a give up state. It's, what's really going on is that you're in a state of surrender, but it's not even surrender. It's that you finally created space between you and the problem, allowing the problem to like go and make its rounds. Okay? When you like give it space, it's like, okay, the problem is already out in the universe, meaning it's already planted in the soil. Okay? Now you just have to let time do its thing. Because as time goes on, eventually that problem you are going to stumble across the solution, or the problem is going to solve itself. And why? Because it was already in the soil. And when seeds are in soil, it can only grow from there. You already watered it with all your worries and emotions. You paid enough attention to it and came to the conclusion that I just gotta surrender. I just got like I did everything I could do. Now all there is to do is to just like give up or like hope something happens, right? But like when you understand the mechanics of energy and um the mechanics of the esoteric and how um problems and thoughts and ideas and plans, how they work in the esoteric realm when they're super light as a substance. When you understand the mechanics of it all, it's like, okay, I'm going to give this space. I'm going to let it do its thing. Um, and eventually it's going to solve itself, or it's going to come back around to me in the form of a solution. And it's just like knowing that, like, you know, knowing how things work. Um, so I had to kind of dive into the esoteric. I wanted to make this video like really like simple, like where like somebody that's really like simple minded would be able to understand it. But like I kind of had to go into the esoteric. I kind of had to get a little taboo for it to make more sense. But ultimately, time is the sacred soil, and the best thing you can do um when it comes to your emotions and when it comes to your problems and when it comes to your ego is to create space between you and your ego. Create space between you and your emotions, between you and your problems. Um and give it time. Give it time. Okay? And it's it's that simple. So yeah, I just really wanted to stress that your emotions is nothing but high waters. It's nothing but drama. And it's not going to bring you the solution. Clear cognizance is. Clarity of mind is. So create that space between you and the drama, because the drama is not needed for the solution to come. That was some real shit. I needed to hear that. Yeah, that's like, what? Mind blown. Yeah. And when you cut out the extra drama, the extra unnecessary emotional upheavals and all the ego stuff, like, and just get to the point, like, life is not only more peaceful, but it's a lot more simpler and a lot more easier to deal with. Life doesn't feel as heavy anymore when you cut out the drama and just, okay, I'm just going to give myself space. I'm just going to keep it real with myself. I'm just going to be very honest with myself. Like, I'm not going to do this, or I'm not going to do this or do that. I'm literally just feeling like that because I'm frustrated right now. I'm just going to create space. I'm just going to step away real quick. Something that I really like to do, I don't want to give that away yet. But I'm allowing myself to be selfish. My North Node is in Aries. If you don't know anything about astrology, that means that's who I'm supposed to evolve to become. And Aries is very selfish, so I'm allowed to be selfish. I'm keeping that for myself. But, but, well, actually, no. It's not that I want to keep it for myself. It's that this is not the video for that information to come out. In another video, it will come out. But I did just want to stress that your emotions is the problem, not the answer. Okay? Operating as a big spirit. Here we go. Yeah, easier said than done, but the more you do it, the easier it gets. So yeah, I mean, just let's just be the bigger spirit and just like be very matter of fact about things, and yeah, reality will be a lot more easier to handle, and you yourself as a spirit would just feel lighter, even though other people will like perceive you as like cutthroat or like boring or like serious, but you're just like a realist now, and like that's, big spirits are realist. And like at the end of the day, like, we just cut out the drama. We keep it real with ourselves and with others as well. And you know, the key to achieving this state of being, or you know, this level of spiritual adulthood, is again creating space. Okay, being the sacred gardener, and allowing the sacred soil, aka time, to do its thing. And you allow that by creating space. So super important. I hope that all that makes sense. I hope that you are able to follow this line of thinking, and that you're able to come out to the other side just a lot more lighter as a spirit. Not necessarily happier, but lighter. Lighter. Meaning you don't feel heavy. Okay? Thank you for watching this video. I hope this helped you. If you have any questions, or if anything is not clear, or if you need clarity on something that I said here, comment it below and I will happily do that for you. The more that I give out information, the more that I learn, so I have no problem answering questions. Thank you for watching. Until next time.